Hi there and welcome once again to the Explaining History YouTube channel, and today I'm going to talk about the Austro Prussian War of 1866. Now, the interesting thing really about the Austro Prussian War is that it can possibly be seen as a German civil war. Okay, let me explain. So the Austro-Prussian War came about because of a dispute between Austria and Prussia over the recently conquered provinces of Schleswig and Holstein, which had been seized from Denmark. Bismarck, the minister-president of Prussia, had negotiated with Austria to become involved in the war against Denmark, which was easily won, and Denmark's obviously a much smaller, much less militarily powerful state. Why had Bismarck gone to this time and trouble to draw Austria in? Well, he later, in his later years in his memoirs, said he'd done this specifically so he could later set up Austria and find a pretext for a dispute with them. But if you look at this rationale, it seems kind of flimsy. Firstly, there was no reason why for Bismarck to presume that Austria would, in eventuality, become in dispute with Prussia over the provinces of Schleswig and Holstein, which is actually what happens. The Austrians essentially claim that they've been shortchanged by Bismarck and should have been given a greater share of the spoils. The war that eventually breaks out between Prussia and Austria suits Bismarck's wider goals. Bismarck believes that within the German Confederation, the association of German states, that there can only be room for one great power, either Prussia or Austria. Bismarck knew that Austria's power was growing, and that in order to check Austrian power, Austria should really be kicked out of the German Confederation, which is what he engineers. Instead, it becomes the North German Confederation, where only Prussia is the dominant power. The struggle, therefore, really wasn't to do with the trivial question of Schleswig and Holstein. It's to do with who was going to be the great power within the Germanic-speaking world. And the question of was there going to be a Großdeutschland, a big Deutschland including Austria, or a kleiner Deutschland, a smaller Deutschland with just Prussia? And the answer was kleiner Deutschland. So the struggle for control over the German-speaking world, which is a big step towards German unification. Obviously, that occurs in 1871 after the victory over France. But this process of forcing out the Austrians and working towards creating the North German Confederation and then the German Empire is less an act by Bismarck of nationalist ardour or German patriotism, and more the fact that Bismarck looked to enhance Prussian power through Prussian expansionism. Just as when we look at the Risorgimento, we'll find that really we're looking at a process of Piedmontese expansionism. Anyway, I hope that's useful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.